Lewis himself. I want to say that how many of you saw WXII this morning? Okay, you saw him on the program this morning. You may have seen him in the news and record. Excuse me. If you have telephones, you may wish to put them on silent. He has appeared in newspapers recently, but of course we know of his record of achievement that we see here. We're so proud to have his work here. When children and adults alike have come into this gallery, they have been taught. When we bring children on tours, we bring them through here and they learn civil rights history by looking at the black and white photographs that are here. They see images of personalities that they've read about. And this is important, and this is what we should be doing. And so we're so pleased that this gallery has been a center of learning based on the work of Mr. Lewis. And we say that we're so grateful, and we would like for you, sir, to come to the podium.
Get myself together here. I'm going to read. This is from my heart, though. And I've been, I have a wonderful wife, and she's also my CEO. And time and time again in different places, when you talk too much, you wander off. And she exhorted me at least 100 times this week. This is about civil rights to leaders and so forth. So I'm going to read. In fact, let me tell you this. Mary Douglas, a member of United Methodist Church, Janine's church, had a habit when the preachers went too long and did something incredible, she'd do like this. So, I had my good friend Jerry Blesso invite me down to Asheboro. He said that they're having a group of authors, including himself, and he says, why don't you come down and just bring a few pictures and enjoy the show. So when we get down, and my wife Janine and I get down there, they have the program on the wall, and I'm looking up there, and I read about one author, and he's going to speak in a certain room from like 6 o'clock till it's almost 45 minutes, 6:45. Then I go to the next, and I get to the end, and there my picture is, and I'm going to talk in such a room from I think it was 8 o'clock to 8:45, and I said, oh, Jerry got me. He really got me, And so then I went to the room, and it was jam packed, and Jerry Blesso came in next to Janine. And I'm going off and talking, all of a sudden look over there, and Janine's doing this to me. It's also happened in when we were up at the Hamptons, when I was invited up there for 2 days. But this is a really truly great honor. I was overwhelmed on February 1 when I came. I was invited to the opening, and of course I had a seat, and the first thing that really struck me, it was a very cold day, and they had all these hundreds of people seated in front. Then they had a rope, and then behind that rope there was at least maybe another 100 or so people, and wow, this is just like when I fortunate enough to cover the 1963 March on Washington, to see 250,000 people there, all races and creeds, and so then when I had a seat. I was in the green area, I think, and fortunately I had my wife's digital camera, and I couldn't sit down. I took pictures all, during the ceremony there, and people who were coming in, and I saw Jesse Jackson come in, and many times I photographed him, been around him, and the first time he reached out, I reached out and shook his hand, and because I don't normally do that, never done it, never, we look at each other and smile or something like that, but it's never buddy, and so then to come in here and see what me and Mr. Dermons had done, some of these photographs, like I covered the 1963 march, not march, but 1964 National Democratic Convention in 1964 in Atlantic City. Dr. Carl Murphy asked me to cover that for the Afro-American, and there was Senator Berta Welcome of Maryland there, and other people, of course, and then next to Senator Welcome is the 1968 National Convention with who was over there, a bunch of Julian Bond. This is in Chicago, the bloody, and I mean the bloody 1968 National Convention. And so just the way, just touched my heart to see how, their insight. And so let me get on. I'm rambling already. Right, Janine? Well, this is, and I mean this, when I walked in by myself, and I was just touched. I was overwhelmed to see, all the people here. This is a Saturday afternoon. When I left Townsville, it was 90 degrees, and to see all these people here, it just really touched my heart, and so this is indeed a great honor for me, and most certainly have my feelings, my emotions, my narrative of these great civil rights leaders, civil rights activists, black and white, and just the average person, exhibited here at the International Civil Rights Center and Museum, wonderfully presented on photographic prints in this global landmark, a 21st century memorial to human dignity, equality, and justice. And my gratitude to Mr. Demerson for the special invitation to the Board of Directors and Advisors of the Matthew Lewis Legacy Foundation, and friends who have favored the legacy with their generous donations, letters of support, and most importantly, their inspiration. All here. It's really wonderful. And to my special friend, Amelia Parker, who touched me deeply when we first met a few years ago. Looking at some of the same photographs exhibited here, she began calling these civil rights leaders by their first names. Oh, there's Andy, referring to Reverend Andrew Young. Then she saw a picture of the Thurgood Marshall family posed in front of the Supreme Court. Two sons, and of course his wife, and Nicholas Katzenbach, who was Secretary of State. And she called off the names of the two sons, Thurgood Jr. and David. Look at them. And then she kept looking, and all of a sudden, I'm sitting across from her, and I see these tears forming in her eyes. So that really touched me. It really did. It's what it's all about, and that's what photography to me has been all my life. Emotion on film, telling the story, and doing your best on most, at least 99% of everything you photograph for the newspapers, or most certainly, because all these pictures I took on my own. I dashed from Baltimore over to Washington, D.C., and just years later, I was just amazed. I said, wow, I captured some of the most important civil rights leaders, so. And then we are going, and of course we all share reverence for the Greensboro Four, Richmond, McCain, Blair, and McNeil, and also board of directors, not board, but on the board, Mr. Jones, who I just met, and very thankful and grateful to you, and most certainly we share our signal admiration for Melvin, Skip Alston, and Earl Jones for the great vision. And my CEO has also demanded that are there any questions? So if there aren't any, then thank you so very much. You've touched me deeply, and it's just an honor to be here. And thanks for honoring me by coming and being in the presence of this, because this has really touched me deeply, and I've won a lot of awards. None of them were just went after; they just happened. I've been blessed, and also now I'm blessed again today and also very much blessed by my wife Janine bring me to Thomasville, North Carolina.